What's going on, everybody? What is happening? What is up? What is up? 161 Mafia's in the house. Who do we have here? Hillel, Anthony. Who else we got here? We got two-man crew chatting here. All right. Stroman, Frazier. I've heard Gallo hates playing. Gallo hates playing for the Yankees. Who told you that one? Where'd you hear that? I'm actually pretty curious. But I want Bryant or Rizzo back. What's happening? I'm going to give it a minute. Let people filter in. A couple minutes early here. But it's all good. Hirsch for real. What's happening, man? What is good? What's up? The crew in the house. Frankie Diaz filtering in. What's going on, dude? Squingili. What's happening? Tyler's in the house. Jason Long. Michael. The crew. The crew is hopping in. What's happening? Mafia's here, man. Richard. What's up? Alan, Gerald, the gang at the Mafia is always strong. You guys, we roll deep. We roll deep. You know what I mean? That's how we do it in a 161. This is how we do it, baby. Who else we got here? T-Bird, Nick's in the house. Yeah. Hola. What's happening, Hola? Hola, by the way, I saw your message on the thing. I did send out a follow-up video on the running channel. I was having connectivity problems, so I wasn't able even to access the live stream. So I'm going to do it this Saturday. So sorry about that if you hopped on and I was not able to do it. But I appreciate that. Yeah, man. 161 River Ave, baby. I got the merch. I don't know if you saw my video. I talked about merch a little bit earlier today on the video. Christopher's in the house. Nelson, what's happening from Puerto Rico? What part of Puerto Rico? What part of Puerto Rico, Nelson? All right, cool. Hola. I got it. I got it all squared away now, but it'll be this Saturday, the usual time, and I'm gonna be going over some, specific stuff for the running stuff. So, I got you, man. I'm glad. I had to get something fixed too, so I didn't even realize it. So it happened. I'm glad it happened when it did. I was able to get it addressed. Ralph is in the house. 74 degrees. Country Walk neighborhood of Miami, Florida. You lucky dog. Yeah, it's in the 30s here. It's just chilly. It's chilly, but it's not that bad. I like the cold. I like the cold weather, so I'm happy. Emmanuel's in the house. Rio Grande. All right. Nice. I went to a wedding in San Juan. One of my good friends from college got married there, and it was nice. It was really, really nice. I like Puerto Rico. Mets, Phillies, Rockies, Rangers, Pirates, Braves, and Mariners. Only teams interested in Seiya Suzuki, according to his agent, a Japanese reporter. Anthony. Rangers and Braves. We'll see. Cashman needs to come out the gate. He needs to come out like swinging out right out the gate. He needs to be aggressive. He needs to get somebody, and he would be a nice get over here. No specific details right now, Lorenzo. We just know that they're far apart in a lot of the things that they're working on. So I don't know how long it's going to be. To be honest with you, AB, what's happening? But I'm going to have a lot of good videos to come out. So hopefully you'll enjoy it. And what's going on? What is happening? Rich is in the house. Rizzo, Suzuki, Star Peraza, trade for Contreras, sign Greinke. I'm not sure Greinke can handle it here, Richard, but the other guys I would be okay for. Greinke worries me. He worries me. I don't know if he can handle it. If he does, he does, but I'm just not sure. I worry about him. Plus, he's a lot older, too. What are my thoughts on the idea of even trying to trade for Sandy Alcantara if they weren't able to acquire Trevor Rogers from Miami? I mean, you could try. I mean, that could be one reason they gave him an extension. I mean, sometimes it increases his trade value because he's not a $150 million pitcher. So they have pitching depth there. I mean, there's a lot of guys that you can go for from Miami, and if you can get one of those starters, even Pablo Lopez, like somebody you can get from that team, and it would be in addition or an improvement in this current Yankees rotation. So, Rule 5 draft. Well, this is the minor league, Christopher. The minor league part of the Rule 5 drafts, meaning so that the people that were picked today and forfeited today were not on the 40-man roster. So the major league, component of the Rule 5 draft, or people that are selected and immediately added onto the Rule 5, onto the 40-man roster. But that's been postponed until after the CBA. That part has been postponed until after the CBA. No major league transactions can happen during a lockout. So that part has to wait. But they did this part today. So and the Yankees lost one guy. They gained 2 pitchers. So I also put out a video on that earlier today too. So come go check it out if you haven't. Um, Schwarber is a possibility, man. Yeah, I mean he's one of the options for first base, and especially to stick at the Boston. So I think he'd be a good get here. But obviously, my number one guy is Rizzo. I mean, is Olsen still. So, well, that's the thing, Jonathan. Like that's something I talked about too. Is like the Yankees' revenues have gone up and up and up and up and up. Yet the payrolls kind of stayed the same. It's been a smaller part of their revenues over the last 20 years, and that to me shows. I mean, they're pocketing, they're swimming in money, so they cannot cry poverty under any circumstances with any credibility. They really can't. They really can't. So, and it's funny because I actually have a video coming out Friday that talks about the fan experience, and I think you'll find it entertaining. So, because the fans are an important part of this whole scenario too. We're the ones that pay these people's obscene salaries. So fans should be at the very least considered or looked out for, and in my opinion. But Butters is in the house. What's happening, Butters? Joe in the house. Nelly's in the house. What's happening? We got the whole crew here, man. Now, who popped up? Oh, Jeff J, man. I thank you so much for the donor. I appreciate you, man. Donor love and hype for you, man. Let's get to that CBA signed and feel the balanced team. Go get number 20. You damn right, man. Damn right. Amen, brother. A freaking men. I hope this thing happens sooner than later. Honestly, like, I hope it doesn't go into spring training. It would be kind of ridiculous. I mean, at some point, both sides are going to have to compromise to a certain degree. And at the end of the day, like I've said this recently too, the people who are going to get stiffed and shorted are the fans, man. Because we're going to wind up paying $20 for a bag of fries and $18 for a hot dog just so that these people can make $50 million a year. Like, at what point does it become too much? And that's the part that I don't like about this whole negotiation. It's always that way. It's unfortunately. Mo's in the house. What's happening? Daly's in the house. Thanks for having me earlier. Daily Dose Yankees had me. We had a little video chat, and I'll be on his channel in a couple days or whenever you decide to pop it out. But I appreciate you having me on. We had a good baseball discussion. Go check out his channel too. He's a young up and coming YouTuber, so he's got a good channel. This guy puts out good videos. What else we got here? Waiting for the yeah. You're damn right, Jason. That's right. 5.3 billion, dude. And that's not including the Yes Network. That's another 4 billion. So if you add that, they're almost at $10 billion. So no way you can pry profit. And just to put this in perspective, okay, in the early 2000s, they were at about, their payroll was anywhere between 50 and 70% of their overall revenue. Now they're down to like 20 to 30%. So if it kept at that rate, the payroll would be like $300 million without missing a beat. They would still be swimming in water. I mean, swimming in money and just wiping their butts with $20 bills and $100 bills. So these guys cannot cry poverty at all. So, and I know they don't like paying the revenue sharing to other teams. I personally don't like that either because the teams are not required to spend the money on players and to get better. A lot of teams can just pocket this stuff. If I would feel better about it if they come up with a mandate that these people spend money on freaking players and get better, invest in their product like the Yankees do. So, anybody in here, if you don't mind hitting the like button, I appreciate you. It's really, really helpful to the channel. And if you haven't subscribed and you like this kind of stuff, make sure you subscribe too. I'm on the road to 10,000 subs, and we're a little over 6,000 now. So we're trying to get there as soon as possible. That's when I'm going to that's when I'm going to drop merch. So and a lot of people are asking for merch. So I've already researched and I've done quite a bit of homework on merch. But in order to me, just so you know, in order for it to be kind of financially sustainable for myself, because I'm going to have to lay out funds, I need to be at about 10,000 subscribers. That way the channel generates enough revenue for me to invest in merch on a regular basis for you guys. So if people are interested in merch, it will come soon. And that's for sure. That's for sure. So hopefully you'll be looking forward to that stuff. And it's going to be, I haven't decided if it's going to be t-shirts, long sleeves, or hoodies, or coffee mugs, or hats, skull caps, like a combination of some of them, or all of them at some point. Nicky Lopez, another possibility. Another possibility, Butters. Aren't the negotiations more for players who are stuck with lower contracts for their prime and don't get signed again because it's cheaper to sign minor league players? To a degree, Nelly. I mean, one of the things they're haggling over is team control. Like they want to get to through arbitration 1 year sooner, and I'm fine with that. It's just the problem with the upper tier guys setting the market, consistently setting the market and making it ridiculous for certain teams to be able to field a good team because they can't afford those guys at the very top. There's a huge gap from the guys at the top from the guys that play the minimum. So, and that's one of the problems. That's one of the problems. So, it's quite a bit. And it's and honestly, and the way I see it is tone deaf people on both sides, on the ownership side and the players and agent side, fighting for more money and power. And that's it. And again, at the end of the day, the fans are the ones that get shafted because they're going to have to pay boatloads of money to go to games, and it stinks. It stinks. So that's one of the big problems. So at some point, again, they have both. I mean, we all love baseball. You know, it generates a boatload of money, but at some point, I mean, it would be nice if they compromised and acted reasonable. So I get it. Why are both Rule 5 drafts called the same? It's essentially one thing, but there's a major league component and a minor league component to it. I don't really know why they're called the same, but that's kind of the way that it's laid out for filling teams or allowing teams to draft players from other teams that are either currently on the 40 or not protected on the 40-man roster, so that they can basically put them on their 40-man roster. It's the only opportunity a team gets to draft from another team. So that's essentially why they call it the Rule 5. They're one of the reasons why they call it the Rule 5. But in more detail than that, I'm not exactly sure. But yes, the Yankees have to freaking. There's a lot of holes for the Yankees to address, and I thought they were going to be at least proactive beforehand and getting a couple of people in here, but that didn't happen. So they're going to have to be super aggressive, just like other people are. So. 7-year cap would be nice on contracts. Let Trump negotiate this. Yeah, it's a good one. That's the rumor too. Now, like Correa is hiding a back injury. I don't know because I don't know if his agent said it the other day, but they said that if you want to see his medicals, you have to have a fat contract offer first or fat offer out first. So that seems a little dicey to me. It really does. So I don't know how accurate that is. That's just the speculation we're hearing. But if it's true, then I would steer clear, to be honest with you. Rather get Olsen and a stopgap at shortstop than give Gray. So would I, Hirsch. I'd rather get Olsen and Trevor Story. And you can get Olsen, Trevor Story, Seiya Suzuki, and probably Carlos Rodon for the same price as one Carlos Correa. Just let that sink in. That's crazy. That's crazy. Suzuki, Suzuki's, essentially waiting now because he's been posted by his team. He's waiting to see what's going to happen. Although I I had a crazy idea I was thinking about earlier, and I was talking about it with Daily Dose a little bit earlier. What if, the Yankees could sign him to a minor league deal right now and just give him a massive signing bonus just to get him here? And then you could do whatever you change, whatever. Just get him over here now. And then again, they can figure the contract details out later because there is a cap at the minor league salaries. But, even when guys are drafted, they get a huge signing bonus and then they play for the league minimum. This is really no different. Essentially like a draft. You give them a monster signing bonus and just get them here in a minor league contract with accelerating things in there. So just a thought. It might be fun. So screw Olsen. Nah, man. Olsen's the guy, man. He's the guy for first base for the Yankees. It's probably going to cost the $180, $190 for Freddie Todd. I would think. I think so. He's going to get paid. Right? He's good, man. Rightfully so. So, but if they're going to trade for Olsen, you better give him a fat extension shortly thereafter too. If you're going to spend all that time there, I think we'll start to hear some verbal agreements with the remaining free agents that plan to sign with teams after lock. They can't even negotiate right now, baby Jim. Nothing can be negotiated at the major league level right now. So we won't hear anything until the lockout's over, unfortunately. Which stinks, but that is just the reality right now. Rather have Olsen than pay for Freddie. So would I. Olsen's 5 years younger. So, even if you gave him a 5-year extension, you'd be 5 years into his contract before he even hits Freddie Freeman's age. Freddie Freeman's a stud, don't get me wrong, but I go at 27 over 32. And if I'm going to pay that much money, they're going to get the similar amount of money. I'm going for the younger guy. who's already familiar with the American League. So, all I you think so, right? It's just kind of I don't know why it popped up in my head today, but like if there's any way that they could do that, and I don't know if it's possible, but they're signing minor league contracts right now. Get him over here, just to get him away from other teams, you know, and give him a huge signing bonus. Just say just like the draft, just like the draft. Rumor has it that Correa won't be making bank because of passing. I mean, at the end of the day, Jason, I think he'll get paid one way or another. I just hope it's not the Yankees that do it. There's other guys, and again, Correa plays one position, and we can fill four guys for the price of one Correa, and that's the way I would do it. I would fill four guys. So, um, both sides hate each other so much. I'm afraid games. I hope not action, but I'm. This happens too much. Like the strike in 94, 95 was 200 and almost 240 days, 8 months. And that's when they had replacement players come in beginning in 95, and they missed it. The playoffs were canceled in 94. So that I hope that doesn't happen here, man. Especially after losing billions already through the COVID from the year before. Don't go down this road again, man. You're killing each other here. Come on, get Nick Johnson. Oh, I remember he used to be like one of the most highly touted prospects for the Yankees. He has the high socks up to his knees. You remember that? Oh man, he was a good looking player. Unfortunately, he didn't pan out, but I enjoyed watching him. He just reminded me like an old school throwback. He reminded me like Roy Hobbs from The Natural. So, um, Marcel, man, thank you so much. I appreciate you, man. What did Marcel say? Perhaps lockout is blessing in disguise. On-field changes, pitch clock, faster paced games needed by MLB to draw younger fans and be. Yeah, I mean NBA, MMA. I mean, it's a good point. And it's not only that; it's other things as well. I mean, there's some of the ideas are ridiculous, like robotic umpires. I don't think that's completely insane, in my opinion. Um, I would not go for robotic umps anytime ever. So I'm not going to take the human factor out of the game. Um, but NLDH, I would be going for. I'm not sure about a 14 team playoff versus 12. I'm not exactly sure, but um, you know, those are the most in service time is the big sticking point here. The owners and I mean not the owners, that the union and players want to get to free agency sooner, and I get that. I get that, but at the same token, there's got to be a balance on both sides. There has to be balance on both sides, and again, my proposal would never be adopted by the union because it's so controversial, but it'd be a great way of holding players accountable, but it would never happen. Um, Yankees can't make big trade for Olsen, let's say, until CBA is over. That's right. Years of control might change for all. It might be. Although I don't know if it's going to change for, well, what we don't know, Joe, is whether it's going to change for existing players who are under, that arbitration process already or team control or whatever. That's going to have to be kind of a negotiated. They might just apply to future players. That's another thing I think they're talking about as well. So, but you're right. I mean, those are big sticking points, and they're going to help determine who trades and who does other things and what. So it's really interesting. I'm really interested to see what happens. So, um, there's a new link. Oh, for Hillel, yeah. Well, thanks. Also, Hillel K, if you haven't checked him out, he had me on his channel too. We did a little collab, and we talked baseball. Him, and Daily Dose, and Bronx Talk. These guys are young YouTubers, young Yankee fans, knowledgeable, part of the knowledgeable Yankee fan community. So go check these guys out. Thankful for all of them for having me on, and I was happy to help these guys as well. I mean, that's one of the things that I appreciated. People like, um, you know. Derek Lewandowski from NYY Recaps had me on when I was first up and coming, when I was really, really in the beginning, and he had me on. I was very grateful for his welcoming me on his channel, kind of giving me a little bit more of an audience, whatnot. So I'm hopefully I can help these guys as well. So go check them out. And when I do collabs with them, they're always in my description, so you can take a look at that as well. But Hillel K's channel, Daily Dose of Yankees, is another channel, and Bronx Talks is another channel. So go check them out, guys. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Trim News, yeah, I remember Twins moved out now to first base. Yeah, from Cash. Yup. We skipped a whole bunch here. Bird was a good. Dono hype and love. Exactly, man. Thank you, Marcel. All you guys, thank you for the donos, man. I really appreciate you. Only fear Suzuki's side might be what another team would have paid him more than what a minor league team max might be. Well, you wouldn't be able to. It wouldn't get approved like the mi I mean, I don't even know if it's possible, but you wouldn't be able to pay them, um, more than the minor league maximum salary under these and other if you did, then they would be violating contract or violating protocol, and that contract would probably be voided or be my guess. But I think the way to get him here would be to give him a massive signing bonus, but and then you work out those details later on when he gets here. But I don't even know if it's possible. But if there was a way to be creative about it, that's what I would do. I would get his ass here now if I wanted him. And again, it wouldn't have to be a major league contract right now. You can fix that later. But just a thought. I have no idea if it's possible, but why not? He's not under the major league tenth right now, the bubble. So it's a little bit different. Guys are going over there to play ball. So it's got to be a way to get people here, but not exactly sure. Greg Bird was a solid first baseman, but he couldn't stay healthy and he was very inconsistent. So, um, and yeah, I mean, he hit that big home run off Andrew Miller. That's for sure. That's for sure, man. Uh oh, Kyle, who's trolling, man? Who's trolling? I missed that. Let me know who's trolling, buddy. Yankees let Damon Matsui walk following 2009 and then signed Nick Johnson for 1 year, played like 4. Yeah, this is why I'm hesitant of reunions with certain guys like that. I mean, just didn't make any sense to bring him back. But it was probably the only guy that was available, Nick Johnson. But he was better the first time around than he was the second time around. So Vogel back, baby. Oh man, yeah, yeah, Emmanuel, yeah, Jinian, yeah, I got some interesting suggestions and interesting feedback. Yeah, Glaber is definitely a second baseman though. Matt G, thank you, Todd. Olsen has yet to hit over 280. While Freeman has 8 seasons over 280 and 6 over 300. Valid points too, Matt. Valid points. He's also been surrounded, in my opinion, by a better team, Freeman as well. But that said, those are valid points. Don Mattingly, oh god, yeah, love Donnie baseball. That's what trades are around for, exactly. His lockout is frozen. You're not paying only Suzuki in that deal. You're also paying the team's fee, which are like 15% on the first 25 and 10% on the next 20 million, or some kind of deal like that. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what the posting situation is now, Anthony, but yeah, there is a posting fee, but it's capped now, the posting fee, and then after that, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. It's not like before where you had to go out like 60 million or 70 million for like a Daisuke Masuzaka and then still give them 100 million after that. They changed that because it was beyond ridiculous. It was beyond ridiculous. That thankfully is different now. So um Freeman better and we don't lose Peraza. Yeah, another thing. Yeah, I would hate to lose Peraza, but you would probably have to give him up for Matt Olson. Not probably, most definitely, I would say. Just think crazy me, you guys, for 1 year. I mean, there might be a possibility to get a Trevor Story in a 1 year deal. I've heard that stuff, some speculation. I'm just not sure. And even in a 1 year deal, if he plays really well, then he can maximize his value next year. He'll be the guy available at shortstop instead of being, fourth or fifth in this whole group like he was this year. So he can get paid next year. He can get absolutely paid, dude. So what do we got here? Somebody just drawn a dono here. Oh, Tyler Talbot, thank you so much, brother. I didn't forget you. Olsen, first base, Suzuki, center, Contreras, catcher, starting pitcher, Rodon, Meneas, Story, shortstop. That's a huge offseason. Rodon and Manea. Yeah, I mean, if you can get Olsen and Manea in the same trade, that's a big trade. And then again, strength up the middle. Suzuki in center field, right? You get Contreras behind the dish. You get who else did you say? Story? Did you say Story? Yeah, Story. Sure. That's strength and defense and versatility right up the middle there. That's the type of team. That's a team. That's really really good. When the Yankees had Posada behind the plate, and then they had Jeter up the middle, and they had Bernie in center field. I mean, that was as good as it gets right there. And then starting pitchers on the mound: Clemens, David Wells, Andy Pettit. Like Up the middle strength, man. They've been kind of building that a lot. They just need to build the dish, man. That's why I keep saying they need to keep drafting catchers on a regular basis because that's where they're very, very thin. But Tyler, that's a huge offseason right there, brother. I like it. I like it. Um, Appreciate that, Marcel. More comprehensive and insightful than my people like you, Simonetti, John Boy, then on ESPN. We appreciate that, man. We appreciate that. I mean, and one of the things that Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp treat MVP as a shuffle. I get it, man. I appreciate the kind words, dude. I mean, I got to give Yankee fans this. It's a very passionate and knowledgeable group of fans, and that's one of the things that I think makes Yankee fans unique and Yankee channels, for the most part, unique. It's because the knowledge and the different perspectives that come with the knowledge from so many people, and it really helps make not only great conversations, but I think if Cashman never read some of these threads, he might pick up a couple of good pointers from people too. So, and if one of these days that they actually read some of these things, they would see some good ideas. They really would. They really, really would. Reds want to trade, and one of these days, I would love to have somebody from the Yankees, whether it's a reporter or somebody affiliated with the Yankees, on my channel. So I'm going to try to get somebody on here at some point as a special guest, and I don't know who the hell it would be, but I'm going to try my very best to do it. And I think it'd be really cool. I think it'd be really, really cool. Suzuki, yeah, I mean Allen, yeah, not that many games, but he's versatile enough and athletic enough to transition over. So I'm not really worried about Allen transitioning to center field. I'm really not. Plus, he'd be surrounded by some good guys, so he wouldn't have to be the guy. But although center field for Yankee Stadium, for the Yankees, it is a premier position. It's definitely a premier position. But he's a fundamentally sound player. So, and he's got a cannon for an arm. Cannon. So, Freeman's a great leader. Rizzo's a great leader. I'm confident Olsen would be one too. Um, you know, if they sign Freeman, they sign Freeman. I'm fine with that. If they bring back Rizzo, I'm fine with that too. Anywhere between Freeman, Olsen, and Rizzo, I think it'd be hard for them to lose in any one of those three guys. I mean, it really would. So, Bucky Dent is coming back. John, oh man, I met Bucky Dent at the Bucky Dent Baseball School down in Jupiter, Florida, a bunch of years ago. It's a scouting combine, and I was down there for a week, and it was really cool. Really, really cool. Really, really. There were some guys, major league ball players there, hitting off tees and doing all these things, working with coaches. It was pretty cool. Really, really cool. Dave, now I appreciate that, bro. Greatest Yankees channel on YouTube now. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate it. I'm glad that you feel that way. It makes me very happy. It makes me continue to want to throw good content out and do the work and keep hustling and get it out there. So, which I'm going to do. You guys make it better. Don't forget that. So, JT Scott, thank you also. California represent. All right, man. Cali's in the house. Thank you, JT. Reds want to trade Moustakas. Would you take him? If we can get Castillo, and Moustakas would be a throw-in for third base. I mean, if I meant moving Gio, if they ate some of Moustakas' money, maybe. But I would not be adding like a top 3 prospect. Excuse me. If we're taking that Moustakas money just to get Castillo and giving them relief, I'm not giving him a top prospect. But maybe he could be credible at third. I mean, he could be sufficient at third base until one of our prospects comes up and replaces him. Or you could just take him here and release him and eat the money just to get Castillo. You could do that too. But I would not give up a top prospect in that scenario. Wells ends up at first, Sweeney at third. It's possible. Wells has already been projected to be at first base or a first baseman instead of a catcher. So Sweeney's versatile, he's athletic, so I can move in. I can see him doing any infield position. Sweeney is smooth, yeah. He's got good. He is smooth as butter on the field, so that translates nicely to a multiple position guy. So in the infield, I like that. Gallows had some defensive woes. So has Sand. A lot of these guys have had some Just ugly defensive plays this year. Hicks could bounce back. I mean, he could. He's not looking that great in winter ball. He's staying healthy, which is one thing. But but again, it's been so long. It's going to take him a while to get his timing back. Sean Miner, the Gamer 29. What's happening, man? Doing something or else I'll be in New York Mets if the Yankees do nothing next year. I love your show, 161. Never have. Well, I appreciate that, man. The Yankees will do some things once the CBA is officially renewed. They'll be aggressive right out. They have to. They have no choice. So, and if they increase the threshold, then it's all but guaranteed they're going to do more. So, that could be one of the things they've been waiting for to figure that out. See how high they can go without paying significant luxury tax. So, but we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Bless you too, Jason. Thank you. Thank you. I feel like everyone is overlooking Chris Bryant. I mentioned him recently, big boy, as a guy that I would be keeping an eye on because of his versatility. He plays third base, outfield. He can play first base too. And he's a star player. He's former MVP, multiple All-Stars. He got championship experience, playoff tested. So he's a guy that's going to be valued. I do think Toronto's going to wind up with him, but again, Yankees could swoop in. Cashman has done some of these dirty deeds before. We swooped in and just take somebody from someone else, like they've been doing to the Yankees recently. So it'd be nice to see Cashman pay some of these franchises back now and do this. I'd really like that. Felix Lopez still running the Tampa complex. That's a good question. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It's a good outfield with shipping in left field. Gallo's got a gun, Mark. He's got a gun for now, but he does have to catch the ball. So I remember that ugly play. It was pretty ugly. So Moose. Yeah, I guess Moustakas, but I mean, yeah, Tyler, that's a good point. He could be as a way of getting, if they decide to move that the price for Olsen's too much, then a trade for Moose and with his lefty bat and Castillo might be in play. And he's cheaper than Joey Votto is, so that would be that would be nice too. So it leaves him some flexibility. So Chris Bryant, I would not overlook. Could the Yankees trade for Olsen without including minor league chips? Jersey guy, I think it would be difficult. To do without, because the main reason why is because they're trying to shed payroll and they want controllable players. And the ones that the Yankees currently have that are on the Major League roster are Luke Voigt and Gleyber Torres. I wouldn't hesitate to include both of them, but they're still going to have to include probably an Oswald Peraza and even maybe a pitching prospect of some sort. So I think most of them would be. Actually, no, I think it might be a combination of major leagues and minor leaguers, but all cheap, controllable players. Because they're not in the business of paying guys as they get more expensive. So, and they just rinse and repeat. So, thinking of Jordans, thank you so much, bro. I appreciate that, man. You guys help make it the best out there on YouTube, man. I appreciate it. You guys make this channel great. So, I'm thankful to all of you. Luis Hill, I would try too. Medina, I would try. Waldachuk. Yeah, I mean, those are three promising arms. You want to try to keep because they don't do a great job at developing starting pitching. So if there's any way they can do that with these three, that would be fantastic. So, yeah, Medina's got a big arm. Bobby Witt is a better Witt's the number 2 or 3 prospect in all of baseball. Volpe is like 15 or something like that. So Witt's an absolute beast, but so is Volpe. So I'm not offended at all, Volpe, man. Richard K, thank you so much, bro. I appreciate you. Thanks for the donor hype and love for you, man. Keep up the great work. I will, man. You keep doing your thing, man. You keep being awesome, guys, and keep coming back and just hang out with us and spend time with us. And I hope you enjoy the videos. So I got a lot more coming. So definitely not going to be Lockout on this channel. So I think I have the next couple of days are going to be pretty interesting videos. I think you'll find them. Enjoyable. And then we'll have another live stream on Saturday night. I won't keep you guys too long tonight, so it's a Wednesday night. Matt Blake and Sevy and Castillo's here would do the job. Yeah, I think Blake would do a good job. Um, and that Castillo. I mean, Sevy just needs to show that he can stay healthy. I would have him in long relief and Luden, and then have him build back towards the starting rotation. But if you can get him to full strength, him and Castillo together with Cole, that's a nice two addition right there to that rotation, Luden. So good points, man. Good points. Bring back Mariano to play center. That dude was a super athlete, man. He really was. Bellinger is a good outfielder. Yeah, I mean he's been kind of inconsistent over the last 2 years, but former MVP. I mean, he definitely has a high ceiling. So I heard that they made a 5-year offer to Marcus Semien. Yeah, but I couldn't agree. I mean, he got 7, so I know the Yankees were not going to go to 7 for him because he's 31. So um, Gallo stopped short, thinking Guardy was going to. Yeah, well, that too, Jay. But keep this in mind, okay? They wouldn't go to 7 years on Semien at 31. Are they going to go to 7 years on Judge at 31? And that's my. I mean, a lot of folks are saying give him 9, 10 years. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. So that's risky. That's very risky. I know he's a homegrown guy. He's the face of the team right now, but um, that worries me. That worries me. So, what is the order that you think things happen? For example, Freeman signs for first baseman. I would say of all the first basemen available, I think Rizzo's probably going to sign first. I think Freeman will sign second. I think Olsen will be traded probably. If he gets traded, it will be in January or February. If the lockout's over, if not, then that'll be one of the later things. I think the trade, because I think the A's are going to be they're going to wait and wait and wait until the season and get somebody to really really bite and overpay for him. That's right, and because they don't have to move him, they really don't. So I think they'll wait and see if somebody's going to give us a haul, and if we can. And if I was the Yankees, I would be going for multiple players anyway, not just Olsen and Mania, Olsen and Frankie Montez, something like that. Get a pitcher two over here, fill two positions. They're eager to move these guys anyway, so you take advantage of it. Even if you have to give a little bit more, obviously, but getting 2 building blocks like that, it's really hard to say no to something like that. So, but it's going to cost a lot. So they just need to know that now. I mean, which I think they do. Yeah, I heard that they offered Semien 5 years, outbid by Texas. That's kind of been reported in a couple different areas recently. So, right, I think Mike Castillo, they both risky. I think he'll be a better winning environment. I know his stats because I mean, he'll be surrounded by a better team over here, Emmanuel. So I just think he'd be in a better spot and having a co-ace with Cole to push him. Like, I think it'd be a good spot here. Don't sleep on Vargas at shortstop. No, definitely not. Definitely not. They have a lot of talent at shortstop. They really, really do. So definitely will not sleep on them. Judge at least. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't go beyond 7 for Judge personally. So I'm not exactly sure Story's gotten any offers yet. Richard, is that confirmed? 5 years, 120. Yeah, Hirsch, I said the same thing. You trade Judge if he turns down an extension. If he turns down an extension, he's going for the highest bidder. Or he's to the highest bidders at that point. Then you move on. You get a haul, and you restock your restock areas. Kyle Seager, I could see him going. I don't think the Rangers are done yet. I don't think the Mets are done yet. So those guys are going to continue to spend. So the Blue Jays once this thing gets resolved. So a lot of teams are going to be aggressive. Judge sells more shirts. Yeah, but there are other guys that sell a boatload of shirts. And again, winning World Series is more profitable than one player. So, but I understand Judge's popularity. It's a Judge. I have a Judge T-shirt too, so it's a good player. It's just they should have extended him like 4 or 5 years ago. They should see what Freeman gets paid and then base Judge's contract off that. They're similar. Yeah, I mean he'll be a year younger starting the extension, but yeah, I mean his contract will have to be a little bigger than Freeman's mark. But I get what you're saying. I think Judge's absolute floor, is going to be $200 million, the minimum he'll make. So if they won't go to 7 years in Judge, which I think they should trade him. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you make him a huge offer. Well, they can't right now because of the lockout, but you make him a huge offer, and then if he says no, then you trade him immediately. Teams will line up for him, and you would get a haul back, an absolute haul. So, but that's just my fear of an extended, yeah, I mean, like a long term extension now, and just being healthy a bunch of years into it, just like a Jacoby Ellsbury deal. He played 3 out of 7 years. Ellsbury missed 4 years with the Yankees. That's ridiculous, and he made $23 million a year. So they lost almost $100 million without any production from Jacoby Ellsbury. Seiya Suzuki, yeah, I mean it's possible, but where's he going to play? Where's he going to play? Complex Suzuki and the Angels. That's the thing. Where would he play? Look what Freeman gets paid out a year for Judge. And you're probably pretty close there, Mark. You're probably pretty close. Story getting 7. I mean, he could get 7 or 8 years. He could. He could. Yankees have to keep Gallo. Stanton, I don't think is going anywhere. He's got 6 more years here. Gallo, I mean, I don't know. It depends on how well he plays this year. I think he'll play better this year than he did in the sample size with the Yankees last year. That's for sure. Does Volpe move to second and Peraza is the new shortstop? Probably. Or third. More likely second. Or Volpe can play second and Peraza can, Volpe can play short and Peraza can play second. Both of them are interchangeable. They both play, can play multiple positions. So that's another nice feature about both of them. So Freeman in the Toronto jersey. Oh, that would suck. Big boy. That would suck for the Yankees. It would really suck for the Yankees. So Bassett would be cheaper and his control is better. Yeah, I mean he's got a year left, I think, but he's also a workhorse. So the Yankees need workhorses in the rotation aside from Cole. Yeah, Yankee fans aren't going to keep Cole, Stanton, and re-sign Judge, Gallo, Star, and shortstop and over 30. So I want Contreras is not a free agent. He has 1 more year left. Wilson Contreras, we're talking about here, right? He'd have to be traded to catch Wilson Contreras. Tony Kemp. Yeah, I mean Kemp is another versatile utility guy, so he could be had too, and play multiple positions, kind of be the new Tyler Wade or whatnot. But the Yankees have to. I mean, honestly, I think they have to take advantage of the prime years of Judge, Stanton, Cole, and some of these guys, and surround them with the right amount of players and the right guys. So if they invest properly, they'll get the return on investment with championships. So. MJ Melendez, you talk about Butters. I've been talking about him for a while, and even him and Whit Merrifield or somebody like, or any Andrew Benintendi, somebody mentioned earlier in the comments. It's either one of those guys or all three of them will be great fits for the Yankees, really. But MJ Melendez to me is a guy to go after. He's the number 4 prospect. He's a top 100 overall. He's a catcher, and again, gives us somebody to be a heir apparent to Gary Sanchez, which we don't have. So, Ola, thank you, man. Thank you for asking folks to subscribe, man. It's really helpful to the channel. So I appreciate your support, Ola. You're the bomb. You are the bomb, man. Do I see the Mets overpaying for Chris Bryant and teams like? I could see the Mets overpaying for Chris Bryant, but at this point, I think the Mets would be better off getting another starting pitcher. We don't really know if DeGrom's going to be healthy or stay healthy, and I would still be. I would still bring in another starter if I were them. I would. Judge. I have a Judge. I have Stanton. I've got David Wells, Jason Long, and I've got a bunch of Yankees shirts and jerseys and stuff like this. I just ordered the Coltrane T-shirt, and I'm waiting for that to come. So I'll be popping that anytime now. So I'm looking forward to that one too, and I got a bunch of other ones too. Steroids, yeah. You're not that far off, John. I know. I get what you're saying, man. Judge, 7 years, 235. Yeah, I mean, it could be. Could be. That might get it done, Tyler. I mean, maybe. That's personally my upper end limit. 6 is my preferred years, but I think he'll have to give him at least 7 at a ton of money. So, and that's what 30 and 10s and 30. I mean, a little over $33 million per. So, which would be good money for Judge. Huge raise. So, Suzuki leading suitors according to Braves and Rangers. Yeah, I mean, but that's what we know right now. So, and the speculation. So, I mean, yeah, I'd be curious to see who signs him. I really am. Judge. I mean, I hope Judge doesn't turn into Jacoby Nelly. I really hope not. That would be such a huge disappointment. I hope he stays healthy for the most part, Judge. So, um, Yankees won't sign Freeman or Correa. Butters. I'm of that opinion too. I don't think they're going to sign either one. To be honest with you. Ellsbury passive income still. Yeah, I know, Ludin. It's ridiculous, man. He just made money hand and foot. I mean, 20-something plus per year without playing any games. I don't know how you could be injured for 4 years. You know, nothing was amputated. Like, I don't know. How could you be injured for 4 years? I never understood that. Never understood it. George Springer, an MVP candidate, if he's saying Rahul 27, maybe. I mean, he's still pretty solid. I mean, he'll be a top 5 center fielder in the American League, that's for sure. He could be an MVP candidate. I mean, he's been that way before, so it could happen. Seattle out west would have the inside track being close to its home. I'm not sure, Jeff. I mean, maybe. I would just see him winning sooner with the Yankees than I would Seattle. But again, Seattle's up and coming too. They're going to be aggressive. So they've already brought in Robbie Ray. So they're not done. So Yankees should have signed JT Realmuto. Yeah, that would have been nice. But that was, they were trying to get under the threshold. So I know why they didn't do it. But like, we need more catchers in Major League Baseball like that. Can't be afraid to draft them and can't be afraid to lock these guys up to contracts, man, because they don't come by very often. So cheaper to pay at third base than Story. Yep. Yeah, Manuel. Mets have overpaid for everyone they signed. Pretty significant overpays get mobile. I would agree with you there. Especially Scherzer's, and that contract's insanity. Tani is the Giannis of the MLB. That international flavor, that unique, just out-of-worldly talent. Yeah, that's a good comparison, Complex, man. That's a really good comparison. I like that. No Red Thunder shirt. I don't have a Red Thunder shirt, Joseph, but that's unfortunately I don't. I should have. I should be ashamed of myself, actually. I had the DMC shirt too when it was Run DMC, Dellin, Miller, Chapman. I had that somewhere. I don't know where it is, but I have that too. I have a lot of stuff in boxes too, but I must admit, no Red Thunder shirt, Joseph. So that's on me, man. That's on me. Can the Yankees fill all the holes after the lockout they have without trading Judge, Volpe, and Dominguez? Center field, let's see, they can do center field and free agency if they want. Catcher, they can do through trade. First baseman, they can do through trade. Pitcher, they can do through trade and free agency. Shortstop, free agency, or in-home. I don't think Volpe's moving anywhere, Jersey guy. The only way I see Dominguez moving for any of these would be in a trade for Brian Reynolds for center, or in a blockbuster that includes Matt Olson and Sean Murphy, catcher from the Oakland A's. That's the only scenario I see Dominguez being moved. Judge being traded would just be, I think, an unexpected extra move at this point, because I think their priority is to re-sign him first. And if it doesn't work, then they'll trade him and get a haul back for him. They may even use, if that happens, they may even use some of those prospects to flip to other teams for bigger trades too. So it's kind of only way I see it, but I would be surprised if they traded Judge. I really would. But if they give him an extension offer and he turns it down, then I think it's necessary. I think they have to trade him at that point. Don't negotiate against yourselves, guys. Don't do that. It would be stupid. So Coltrane went off the rails. G1. Yeah, I mean, he had a hamstring issue too, so I expect him to be fine next year. I think he'll be fine. And he's still one runner-up to the Cy Young. With a down like last 6 weeks. I think he'll be fine. And we need more cars on that Coltrane, man. We need more supporting cars. So we definitely do. Can't just be him and a bunch of cabooses. So we need more cars. Isn't much better offensively than Gary. Defensively, Contreras, he's slightly more better defensively. He's just a better game caller. And pitchers actually want to throw to him, which is a huge difference between him and Gary Sanchez. Plus, he doesn't have these regular or semi-regular mental lapses where he just zones out and doesn't hustle like this. You don't really see that. He's much more consistent than Gary Sanchez is. Sanchez has a higher offensive ceiling, no doubt, but I'll take the consistency any day. And that's what I would do. Cohen trying to be the new George, moved in his own son Sal is the most embarrassing thing ever. He gets where Lockout. I hear that, Luden. Yeah, I totally hear that, bro. They don't get the extension done and Judge wins MVP, he'll get a lot more. Yeah, he will. Yeah, he will. I mean, if they don't get the extension done, they have to at least attempt it. If they don't get it done, that means he turns it down. You trade him immediately if he turns it down. That way you have to get value back because if you go into the season, you're going to get less value at the trading deadline. And then if the free agency's over, what are you going to do? Offer him a qualifying offer? That's all you're going to get exchange for Aaron Judge? Like, there's no way. You have to get value back for him if you're not going to extend him. So, hoping Cashman gets hard at the ultimate. If he fails to succeed in doing that, must have to go hard after Reynolds. Yeah, I mean, one or the other. Both of them would be awesome. But if I think you can get Olsen for less than it would take to get Brian Reynolds. But at that point, if you're going to go for Reynolds, you might as well go after JT Brubaker, starting pitcher. If you're going to go after Olsen, you might as well go after one of their starting pitchers too. So I don't think they're going to get Sean Murphy. I don't think he's, at the end of the day, going to be moved just yet because he has 4 years of control left. So I would wait until he has like 2 years of control, and then I would expect the A's to move him. Unless they're blown away, which they could be. They could be. No. Yankees really didn't suck that bad this year. We could have had 90 wins. We legit had over 90. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and like that 13-game winning streak, a lot of their role players were primarily responsible for that. The Andrew Velasquez, the Greg Allen, Rougned Odor, Tyler Wade, guys like that are all gone now, were critical in that 13-game winning streak. And they were stealing bases, they were running well and stuff like that. And then what did they do? They replaced these guys with guys that were starters that were coming back on the injury from off the IL who didn't even play any rehab games. They thrusted them right back into the starting rotation. That's in the lineup, and that it threw the rhythm off the team. I'm not a fan of taking guys out when they're on a heat or when they're hot. I don't think it's a good idea. Let the starters earn their way back too. It's only fair. Dominguez for Reynolds. Straight up, I would do that, Tyler. I would do that 100%. It would hurt a little bit, but again, to me, Reynolds is the finished product of Jason Dominguez. What we want Dominguez to become, Reynolds already is. So, and he's got plenty of team control left, and he's young, and he's a superstar. And there's no guarantee Dominguez is going to pan out. So, I don't think they would give up Volpe. I would be surprised, Eva. Dominguez, yes. I think they could get Reynolds for Dominguez and something else, or a couple of guys, something like that. But I think they could do that. I don't think Volpe gets moved. He's going to be special. I think they're going to do whatever they can to keep that guy. But teams are going to ask. There's no doubt about it. Teams are going to ask for Volpe. So, but at the end of the day, I think they're going to either have to come to their senses or a trade's not going to happen. I would be shocked if they moved Volpe. I would also trade Dominguez for Jose Ramirez. So, yeah, Tyler, I think there's two players who I would trade Dominguez for, and it would be Ramirez and Reynolds. Or, again, a combination trade, like I said, Olsen and Sean Murphy. But that's two heavy-hitting building blocks. So that's why you move a Jason Dominguez for a package like that. Yankees got lucky. They should have had less wins. It was a painful season to watch. Yeah, they were sloppy so many times. They were inconsistent so many times. I'm surprised they won as many games as they did. I'm also surprised. So, Rizzo, as our he struck out some guys this year. So when he had the opportunity, so he's got a decent arm. Sanchez should move to first base DH. Yeah, I mean, complex mind. I'm of the opinion that if the NL adopts the DH, then he'll be traded to the National League and probably be a DH for somebody. He'll be a better DH than he would be a catcher. So, but I totally get that. We get Brian Reynolds on a trade. The headlines will say Reynolds. That's a good one. I like that, Hirsch. That's a good one. won't say publicly, but GMs and players are negotiating trades and contracts. Anthony, you could. I mean, yeah, it has to be. I mean, if it is done, it's going to be done on the DL with nobody able to leak it. You know what I mean? And but I mean, who knows? These guys do stuff behind closed doors, I would imagine. So I wouldn't be surprised if they were doing it. I mean, I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. So the Mets have done negotiating against themselves with the way we're paying. Yeah, yeah. I mean, Scherzer. I mean, that's a boatload of money. $43 million per. That's a shit ton of money. But it's a 3-year deal. I hope he stays healthy, and you know, it's. I'm really curious to see how the Mets play this year. The National League East is definitely going for it, so that's for sure. So the Marlins are going to have to be bold to keep up with them. They really are. And they're, to me, your sleeper team for a couple of superstar trades. So I would not rule out the Marlins under any circumstances for anything yet. They have the number 3 farm in baseball, and they have a boatload of pitching prospects at the major league level and sub-major league level. So they can facilitate big trades if they want to without taking a major hit to the farm. So they got plenty of depth. Contreras definitely more consistent than Gary Sanchez. That's for sure. That's for damn sure. Oh. WB for Soto. Soto would cost the world. So he will cost the world. Soto. He's going to get probably $500 million contract soon at some point. They're going to have to lock him up really quickly. Boone. Rounds 27 now. He'll be expensive and free agent 31. They traded Stallings. I think Reynolds will be traded. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point too, Richard. And again, I would take advantage of those 4 seasons. In his next 4 years, if he's not a free agent until 2026, so you have 4 controllable years for Brian Reynolds, which also gives them enough time to draft and develop some outfield prospects and then see what else is out there at some point. Like, they have other guys like Everson Pereira and some other dudes. So, but if there's any way you can get Brian Reynolds, you kind of have to, at the very least, entertain it. And that's definitely something I would do. Definitely something I would do. I think Marlins should sign Correa. Yeah, they could sign Correa. I don't know if they're going to spend that type of money yet because they're not contending yet. But crazy things have happened. Detroit's not contending yet either. But I think he's going to go at the end of the day to the highest bidder, Correa. Pirates, yeah, I mean, but the Pirates also line up for a lot of trades with the Yankees, which is why I can see the Yankees at the very least being a competitor for Brian Reynolds, and a team that they might go back and give one last phone call to and say, hey, look, make your best offer, or blah, blah, blah. So they did give Adam Frazier away. And again, Frazier went over to San Diego and didn't have there was no role for him there. I mean, it looked like a tactic just to keep him away from the Dodgers, in my opinion. That's what I think the Padres did. So, but I can't prove that, but it just looks that way. It looks that way. I think Adam Frazier would have been a better fit in the Bronx than in San Diego. Yankees Dh Factory. Yeah, I mean, it's too many DH type guys. Too many big guys that are playing positions who eventually need to be DH or should be DHs right now. Now, has it been confirmed yet that the Yankees are they haven't officially signed him yet. They can't sign him, Jeff, until international signings until January. So, but it's expected that they have, whether it's a handshake or verbal agreement or whatever it is. We don't know the details yet, but I would be surprised, Jeff, if they don't sign him. Roderick Arias is another superstar, and they're calling him Juan DeFranco, the sequel. So that's very encouraging, but we'll see. Apparently he's got light tower power too, so I like that. And he's a switch hitter apparently too, just like Juan DeFranco. Tyler Talbot again, bro. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Hypothetical trade. Yankees get Jose Ramirez and Shane Bieber for Dominguez, Gio Medina, Herman Peraza. Ramirez and Shane Bieber for Dominguez, Gio Medina, Herman Oswald Peraza. Well, they're not including Volpe. And they're not including Luis Hill. So let's see, Ty. Let me see how many years of control Shane Bieber has. I'm gonna look up his contract here. Shane Bieber contract. Let's look up his contract details here. So Bieber's 26 years old, and he's not a free agent until 2025. So he's got 3 more years of arbitration. Ramirez has 2 more years in his contract. So Dominguez, Gio, Medina, Herman, I would do that. Yeah, I would do that, Tyler. Personally, I would. Doesn't include Volpe, doesn't include Luis Hill. And if you can get Bieber and Ramirez for that package, I think I would do it. I like that trade, Tyler. That's a good one. It's heavy, but it'd be a good trade. I like it. I like that, Tyler. Thank you again for that donor, man. I appreciate you. That's a good. I'm going to be thinking about that now for a little bit. No way Jeter signs Correa. I would agree. I would concur. Blockbuster Reynolds would be the best that the Yankees franchise the Yankees type. George would have given them. I think George would have loved to bring in Brian Reynolds, and he would have given up Jason Dominguez like that for him. And I hope cooler minds would have talked him out of offering Dominguez and Volpe. I would hope, but you know George Steinbrenner. So when he wants somebody, he generally gets the person he wants. Judge, Stanton, and Olsen sounds great too. Oh God, yeah. Olsen sandwich between the two. Oh, deadly trio. No one goes sees Marlins games. Yeah, what do they average? Like 128 fans a game, just like the Tampa Bay Rays. It's ridiculous. They were giving away free tickets in 2019. Jeter's not signing Correa. I agree. They've made a couple of good moves this offseason, so they're going to be better, and they have to keep up with the American League East. I mean, the National League East team. So I see them still making a couple of more moves. I could see them making a significant trade with some of their pitching pieces and just getting controllable players in here. I mean, Jose Ramirez, Shane Bieber to the Marlins trade could happen probably easier than it could to the Yankees because they have a more robust farm that might be able to give them more. And think about that, Ramirez and Bieber to the Marlins. Tyler, what do you think about that one? That would be insane. That's a trade I could see happening. Yankees would be nicer, but I could see the Marlins being an underrated, like a sleeper trade candidate for a lot of players. So I would not rule the Marlins out for any big blockbuster just yet. More than that to Cleveland. I mean, Raul, you might be right. G-Man, did I know that the Yankees were going to sign Wander Franco and MLB declined? Yeah, they did something with the international signing pool or something that it prevented them from signing Wander Franco. So I have heard that, G-Man, and it has been, I think, verified by a lot of different sources. Something with the spending pool or something like that, which prevented them from signing Wander. So he could have essentially been a Yankee. Yep. No way Cleveland would accept that. Why would they not accept that bonus? Well, what else would they want? What else would they want for 2 players? I mean, you had 2 years of Ramirez and 3 years of Bieber, and in that one they were getting like 20 years of controllable players. So, what else would they want? Yankees signed Arias, and he progresses as expected. Would he remain at shortstop? I don't know. That's a good question. Jay, he could have been shortstop. Maybe you convert him to an outfielder. I mean, that's a good question. He's athletic and he's versatile, so I think he would be able to. And there's no guarantee that Trey Sweeney's going to stay there. He might move to another position, which would clear a path for Roderick Arias. I think it depends on how his first 2 years go, and they'll get a better idea. But if we're getting Wander Franco type comparisons, my guess is he'll probably stay at shortstop. But that could not happen too. So. Mr. Handsome. You talking about Volpe Butters? More value at shortstop. Yeah, sure. Yeah, no doubt, Hirsch. Yeah, need a lefty first baseman between Judge and Stanton. Oh, God, yeah. RBI machine behind Stanton. Could you imagine, like, let's just say Trevor Story came here and he was like 6'8". Let's just say they get Suzuki, right? And Suzuki's leading off at center. And then you put DJ behind him, good contact hitter. Then you have Judge, then you have Olsen, then you have Stanton, then you have like Trevor Story. And you're like, it's going to be hell for pitchers to get through just those 6 guys. Never mind the last 3. That's going to be hell for pitchers. And that's the type of lineup we need. We need pitchers to be like, I don't want to pitch against this. This is going to suck. I'm going to get my ass kicked. Like, we want that type of lineup. So Cleveland does love pitching. Jeter would do it. And again, yeah, I think they would get more deep package pitching wise from the Marlins than they would the Yankees, Luden, which is why I think they would do it. The Marlins can offer him a boatload of pitching. Arias is 16. It looks like. I mean, yeah, Richard. I mean, yeah, and then I hope that they take their time developing him too. Arias and Dominguez, like guys like that, just young potential superstars in that form, which you haven't had a lot of those guys at the same time in a while. And you add Volpe to that, you add some other guys, yeah. Oh, Mr. Handsome Olsen, yeah, Olsen's. I mean, the Yankees are going to make any blockbuster trade. It's got to be for Olsen, man. Olsen and a pitcher. I can see other trades happening, yes, but Olsen, I mean, he's the right guy, I think, for first base here for the Yankees. Oh. If Volpe was on the Rays, it would bring him up this year. Probably right, Richard. They'd be developing him probably a little bit quicker. No updated status right now, Davey. It's just they're in contentious negotiations. They're far apart. Service time is the big sticking point on both sides. Again, the union and the players want people to get to free agency sooner, and the owners and them are hesitant on that. So, but there's still a couple of main sticking points: NLDH and some other ones, but those tend to be the two main ones. That and service time, which can affect arbitration, can affect free agency. So. But and I don't see the players union kind of bending or blinking first. I just don't, especially since they felt that they've lost the last two CBAs, which I'm not exactly sure how, but essentially, I mean, it's just rich people wanting to get more rich. That's it, In one of your recent videos, you mentioned desire to trade for Whit Merrifield. Yeah, I mean, if there's any way ball four that I could package like with Merrifield and MJ Melendez, who's a top catching prospect, I think that would be a great trade partner for the Yankees. And I know he's not still on bases. Yeah, he's number 2 in the major leagues. He's a little bit older. Would I trade Glaber for him straight up? For Whit, let's see. Glaber's got 3 years. Whit's got 2. I might need a little bit more than Whit for Glaber since Glaber's so much younger, and has a higher ceiling at this point. But Whit's also very consistent too, so it's something you'd have to consider. I would try to get another piece from Kansas City. I would try to do an MJ Melendez and a Whit Merrifield for Glaber and add some pieces to Glaber Torres. See if that would work, or an Andrew Benintendi or something, or all 3 of them. So, and you make a huge trade with the Royals. That could work too. Could the Nationals be a guy like use a guy? Yeah, they could. Yeah, I mean, they traded away most of their team at the deadline, complex mind. So yes, they definitely could. Most definitely. So I just don't know how much prospect depth they have to give back. I know they got some trading Scherzer and some other guys, but those are starting pieces there. They're not going to move any of those guys. Which 2 passions do you unload the farm? Which 2 positions are I unload the farm for realistically, and who? Olsen is your guy. I unload the farm for Olsen and Sean Murphy in one trade. And if you're talking about really unload the farm, then I need Olsen, Murphy, and a starting pitcher like a Frankie Montez, because then you're bringing in 3 building blocks. That's the type of trade that's representative of giving some top farm pieces. But it's got to be a return like that. That'd be my one trade right there. Raul, the Yankees can sign Story, trade for Olsen. Yankees and Jays lineup would be hard to deal with. Yes, most certainly, Raul. 100%. I would still bring in another starting pitcher too, just to complement the lineup. But yes, that lineup would be absolutely fierce. Yankees definitely need another starter. I think they need 2, Zach, but 1 I would be happy with. But they got 2, I'd be ecstatic. Their rotation, yeah, but they definitely need at least 1. No doubt about it. Suzuki makes sense, but it also makes sense for business. And yes, exactly. Merch. I mean, he'd be another merch guy, and international business and whatnot. And and if he translates well, he plays here like Hideki Matsui did. And the Yankees have a nice piece here. I'll tell you that. That's for sure. I've yet to hear a Yankee fan offer a trade for Olsen that isn't insulting. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a tough one. I know the A's are going to want the moon, but at the end of the day, I'm going for Olsen and Sean Murphy, or Olsen and a pitcher. And the Yankees have to understand that you're going to have to part with at least Oswald Peraza for just Olsen and Olsen in the pitcher. If you want Olsen and Sean Murphy, it's going to have to cost Jason Dominguez and some more guys, major league and minor league. So it's going to have to hurt for a player of that caliber. It's just there's no way to get around it. So as much as I don't want to do that, it's just that's the nature of doing business. If you want a superstar player, no, it just has to be that way. But I'd just see Olsen's born to wear pinstripes, man. He really is. He's so good in pinstripes, like a young Teixeira in his prime. Yeah, Hirsch, exactly. Yeah, I mean, Luden. Honestly, like Reynolds. The reason why I didn't say Reynolds first is because Reynolds is essentially the one guy on the team. I think you can get multiple guys from Oakland because they're in a salary dump mission. So you can get a Olsen and you can get a pitcher of Olsen and Sean Murphy. I would choose that over Reynolds alone. Um, but if you're going to trade with and Pittsburgh, I mean Reynolds and JT Brubaker or something like starting pitcher or something like that, I would want more than Reynolds. And I just think I'm more confident I'm getting more from Oakland than I do in Pittsburgh. So that's kind of why I say that. But I'd be happy with Reynolds. I'd be happy with Olsen. I'd be ecstatic with both. Mariners should trade for Glaber, but we're not giving up. Nah, yeah, they're not going to have to give up Julio not for Glaber Torres. Give up a pitching prospect or two, complex mind for Glaber. I think that would be more representative. Julio Rodriguez is a stud outfield prospect, and he's like number 3 or number 2 and all. Him and Bobby Witt, I think, are 2 and 3 in baseball. So, yeah, Julio Rodriguez. I don't see him being moved unless it's for an Aaron Judge or something like that. At that level, if you're going to move an outfielder like that, you have to bring in a superstar outfield. That's kind of the way I look at it. Complex. Robinson Chirino, service call. He did. He was one of them, and then he came here. He got hit in the hand, broke his hand, and the Yankees eventually released him. So he's no longer with the Yankees. Josh Bell. I mean, he's an option, switch hitting option, but he's got power. He won't cost that much. So, I mean, he's a decent option, Josh Bell. He is. Tyler Talbot, thank you again, bro. You're the man. Olsen and Kemp Montez. Olsen, Kemp, and Montez for Torres, Peraza, Medina, Davey, and Voit. Olsen, Tony Kemp, Frankie Montez, Glaber, Oswald, Luis Medina, Davey Garcia, and Voit. I would do that. I think I would do that. You get the building block at first base. You get another frontline starting pitcher, and you get a utility guy, which we don't have right now in exchange for our second baseman, who you could just replace with DJ. Peraza would hurt, but it would cost that much. I just expect him to be in any trade for Olsen, especially if they sign Trevor Story, then that becomes kind of irrelevant anyway. Luis Medina would be tough, but you'd have to give him up. And we're getting a starter to give up pitcher, so we're giving Davey Garcia. I think he needs a change of scenery and Voit. I would do that trade, Tyler. That's a good trade too. Thank you again too for that donut, man. That's a good trade. I like it. Reynolds and a pitcher from Oakland. Yeah, I mean, Reynolds and Frankie Montez would be nice. It would be. And then if you don't get Olsen, you go sign freaking Kyle Schwarber for first base or Chris Bryant, something like that. Schwarber, I think, would be nice. It'll cost less. But Reynolds, if Reynolds and Frankie Montez, I would do. Emmanuel. Kill multiple birds with one stone, track trades for sure. I think, yeah, Luden. I think Cashman's best bets this offseason would be trades for more than one player coming back from another team because there's so many holes that they have. I think that would be the best option. Glaber Torres to the Marlins is a real possibility. Yes, it is. I mean, I would add to Glaber Torres to get one of their young pitchers. I would. They have a surplus of pitchers, and it would be wise for the Yankees to make a strong trade for one of them. Consistent young pitching is something the Yankees need here. Freeman goes to the Dodgers. Braves go after. I could see that happening too. I could see that happening. I've heard that the Braves have already made inquiries into Olsen too, so I wouldn't sleep on the Braves. They always have a good farm. Torino's free agent now. Yeah, he's a possibility too, Richard. He's a possibility. Josh Bell has one more year with the Nationals complex. I think he signed for a 2-year deal, if I'm not mistaken. So he's got one more year, so he'd have to be traded. Might have to be Luis Hill instead of Davey. Cashing. I wouldn't give Hill and Medina. I would rather go Javy, Emmanuel. I don't think under any circumstances, do I give up Hill and Medina in the same trade. No way. That's just me, though. They used to play Japanese ads on the radio right before Matsui came to the plate. Great business. Yeah, they would do the same thing for Suzuki, and I think Suzuki would look great in pinstripes. I think he'd be a good addition to the team and fit in with these guys. And again, great business, bringing some international flavor here. The Yankees should consider Chris Bryant complex. Yes. There was talk about having a minimum salary floor for teams in the CBA. If that happens, wouldn't that prevent teams from like Oakland and Pittsburgh from trading any players? It would make it harder because they'd have to keep guys like that. But again, this is what I talked about before, like revenue sharing, where teams like the Yankees and the Dodgers have to give so much of their profits into revenue sharing for teams. I would make it mandatory for those teams to use that revenue sharing money towards the payroll, meaning players. They're not required to do that right now. So that's one way of doing it without kind of making drastic changes. But at the end of the day, professional baseball teams should be able to withstand a $100 million payroll floor at some point. So I understand the logic behind it. I think there's got to be certain avenues or creative avenues to get people there. So, but it'll be hard in some areas like Tampa and Pittsburgh, and I think Max Scherzer makes more than the entire Pittsburgh Pirates roster in one season. So, which is insanity, but it's true. Bryant is nowhere near what he was a few years. He's still solid. He's still a good player, Richard. And again, he's not my. I'm focused on Olsen and like Story and Seiya Suzuki before Bryant. So, and Rizzo's another option. Yeah, if we can't get Olsen, and then I'm going after Rizzo pretty quickly, I would try to bring him in pretty quickly before Freeman. Freeman's going to cost 3 times the amount of money as Rizzo. So I'd rather spend a little bit less money and invest more in pitching or something like that. Rizzo's still a glove wizard. He was solid with the Yankees. So I don't think he's going to cost a 6-year deal like Freeman would. So kind of logic. That's my logic behind Rizzo. But Olsen, first order business. Sad Gill's trade bait, but Cash is a homegrown. Cash wants a homegrown starter. Yeah, I don't disagree, Emmanuel. I don't disagree. That's a very reasonable position. I would trade Gill or Medina for an Olsen or Reynolds, but not both. Yeah, I would agree, Hirsch. I would not trade both. For an Olsen or Reynolds, yeah, I would not trade both. Definitely not. Edward Cabrera. Cabrera's another one too. There's a lot of underrated players here. Sandy Alcantara, Trevor Rogers are underrated, which I think they're going to be great value. They're young. They would return a huge haul in exchange, but that's the type of pitcher that you give a big prospect package for. You're going to have to get guys like that. There's no way about it. There's no two ways about it. So, and then adopting DH will open what? Oh, where did it go? Where did that go? And just shot up. And now adopting DH will open what sort of value for Sanchez? Well, he'd have potentially 15 more suitors who all of a sudden have an offensive position open for every game. So, and his bat would play well in a lot of National League stadiums without having the pressure of having to play catcher or them having to worry about him playing catcher. So I think he'd be a better DH than he would be a catcher, that's for sure. So I think it opens up possibilities for him. What would it take for us to get Olsen, Sean Murphy, Ramon Laureano, and the pitcher on our end? The New York A's, baby. Oof. To get Murphy, Olsen, Laureano, and the pitcher? Ooh, like one of their starters? Oh, my God. That's going to cost Dominguez, Peraza, Hill, Gleyber Torres, Voit, maybe Everson Pereira. It's going to cost a shit ton package to get that right there. That would be a blockbuster of all blockbusters. I haven't seen blockbuster trade like that in a long time. But they line up nicely for it. But my only fear is that team like a Marlins can swoop in, or a team, although the Marlins have much more pitching depth, the Yankees would be able to offer more positional depth. So I think the Yankees have a fair balance of guys. So I think the Yankees might be giving a little bit more balanced package, where the Marlins will give them a little more of a high-end package on certain areas, particularly pitching. So that's something the A's would have to decide who's the better fit here, which package more best represents our needs and goals over the next half decade or decade. So that'd be a tough decision, but it would cost a ton, Ludin. Would I mind it if the Phillies signed Carlos Correa? That I in my MLB free agent predictions, I have him predicted to go to the Phillies. I do. With Dave Dombrowski, their GM now, is a former GM of Boston. He's an aggressive guy, and I can see him making a ballsy move like this. So I wouldn't mind. Medina's breaking balls. Yeah, Medina's got nasty stuff. Him and Hill, I mean, they're nasty. If there's any way the Yankees can keep both of them and somehow still wind up with Olsen and I don't know, whoever else, I mean, that'd be a nice offseason. Because you can get Olsen and be the one trade you make, and you can bring in Story, you can bring in Seiya Suzuki, and still keep these guys, and even add like a Carlos Rodon. You got better this offseason by doing that. You got better. So Yankees need to fire all their minor league pitching coaches since they can't develop. Yeah, I mean, it's not only, it's player development, it's drafting. Like, it's a combination of them getting mobile. But I totally see what you're saying. They don't do a great job at developing starting pitchers. They develop relief pitchers much better and positional players much better. They need a lot of improvement with starting pitching and catching. I keep saying that too, but they need to really, really, really enhance that area of their prospect pool. I will pull the trigger to trade Dominguez if I hear he's overrated. Olsen, Murphy, and a pitcher there. Yeah, there's no way I don't include Dominguez in that. If you can get even Olsen and Murphy without the pitcher, I would include Dominguez. So Olsen, Murphy, and a pitcher, like let's just say Frankie Montez. Yeah, you're going Dominguez. You're going a lot more than Dominguez too. So Peraza, Torres, but you're giving up a lot, Davey. But if you can get that trio over here, that's a monster. That's a monster haul. Didi stinks. Didi. He's definitely not who he was when he was with the Yankees. That's for sure. But he'd be a sufficient stop. He'd be a stopgap guy for a Volpe and for guys like that. But we'll see. Guzman back from the Marlins. Oh yeah. Hirsch, yeah. Yes, sir. MLB needs a salary floor of $125 million. $125 would be nice. It would be nice. I'd be curious. I think I'm not opposed to that. Teams need to invest in their franchise. One way or another. They do. They have to. Correa has really had only 2 full seasons. Can't count out the 160 games in full season. Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't give up Medina, Hill, or Waldichuk. Yeah, Waldichuk's another highly touted. He's a left-handed pitcher. I actually did a profile on him, a video profile. He's a solid. How can you call Jason overrated? Yeah, and I don't know. It's too early to call the guy overrated. It's also too early to call him the next Mickey Mantle. I have some people doing that too, or the next Mike Trout. Cannot crown this guy that yet. Okay? You can't. He's still 18. He's still very raw. He has a boatload of talent. Yes. There is no denying that. No denying it. But at the end of the day, if you can get established guys here for several years, these are the types of prospects you have to move for them. And like Sean Murphy and Matt Olson alone, to me, justifies a Jason Dominguez lead package. Bryant was MVP quality a couple years ago. Yeah. He's still pretty good, Richard. He's still pretty damn good. He's not my first pick again, but his versatility plays well. Correa, good fit for the Angels. Yeah, he's a good fit for the Angels, Tigers, the Phillies, even the Red Sox. I would watch out for the Red Sox just in case. They've got Xander, but they can move Xander to second base and put Correa at shortstop. So they worry me a little bit. They worry me. Angels need pitching, yes. Kikuchi going to the Angels. No surprise. Too many impoverished foreigners in Miami. Former New Yorkers still following Yankees and Mets, not Marlins in Miami. Yeah, I mean, Marlins got to. I mean, Florida's stadium's got to get some fans in the stands, man. They do. They do. Mets can sign a bunch of Japanese and convert Mr. Met into an. That's a good one, Gerald. It really is. You're too much, man. Damn, this thing keeps scrolling really fast. Buy the team at that point. Should have signed Javy. Yeah, I mean, I heard some people at Javy too. So, Andujar can hit. Yeah, he can hit. It's just doesn't have a place here on the team, unfortunately. The Super Oakland trade, Luden. Let me go back. Yeah, I mean, if you get Sean Murphy and Olsen and one of their starting pitchers without giving up Volpe, you kind of have to do it. So, kind of have to do it. I mean, those are the types of trades the Yankees need to make right now in order to get really much better. So, by the way, guys, if you don't mind, let's get those likes up. I want to try to get them over 100 if you don't mind. If you haven't hit the like button yet, I appreciate you. I like to try to keep them over 100 every time we live stream it, man. So please hit that button. Please punch it hard if you haven't done so yet. And if anybody in here is not subscribed to the channel, please do so. It's really helpful to the channel's growth. And it's really much. It's greatly appreciated. How is Miami a small market area? It's not a small market area. They're just a small market team with the way they spend and whatnot. But I think, a few more years, Jeter's going to kind of keep them headed in the right direction. So they're starting to invest in guys now. And they've just been acting like a small market team. But I think Jeter, again, is going to bring championship pedigree there. But it's not going to happen overnight. But he's doing it the right way. He's doing it slowly but surely, but doing it the right way. So, Andujar could be moved. Yeah, nice DH for a low market payroll team. Yeah, he could be moved to the DL. I mean, to the National League as well. So, yeah, it's just selling each player separately gives them a better haul. Yeah, most likely, yes, Donald. Especially if there's untouchables, which I think they'll probably wind up doing. Which to me makes sense for them. Capitalize on as many pieces as you can. I mean, to restock your whole farm and get ready to do the same thing they do every 5 years, and then trade some of those guys when they're close to free agency. Suzuki, Freeman, Rodon, or Kikuchi. Yeah, again, another solid offseason. These are the things that the Yankees need to do. I like Andujar too, Ola. I mean, I just wish he was able to stay healthy. He's got a very exciting looking offensive player. So I hope if he stays, I hope he plays. If he moves, I hope he gets an opportunity somewhere else. I just wish he didn't have so many years of injuries recently. That stinks. It's robbed him of his good development years. How many years of control does Laureano have? Is a guy they might be shopping. Losing. Let's have a look here. Let's check his contract status. Ramon Laureano contract. Laureano's contract is up also in 2025. So he's got 3 years left. 3 arbitration years. So an attractive trade piece, Luden. Attractive trade piece. No doubt. Peraza had 20 home runs in 59 games. Yeah, I mean, Pereira. Pereira's got a good, skill set. So does Cabrera. So does Peraza. A lot of these guys. And I'm glad that the hitting coach that worked with a lot of these guys is over in the major league level now. So that if some of these guys come over, he's going to bring some of that dynamic. And I hope they'll increase their offensive repertoire. And I hope it works with the same guys at the major league level now. Improves them, helps them become more well-rounded and patient and disciplined hitters. So I'm hoping that this guy, Dylan Lawson, does some good things up here. So because he's the guy that helped a lot of these guys, Coy Park, Cabrera, like Oswald Peraza. He's helped a lot of these guys. So I'm hoping he does the same thing at the major league level. Didi's in Philadelphia. He's got one more year in Philly. Tired, yeah. I had a long day, man. I mean, I have two young daughters with work and then taking care of them. They run me ragged, dude. They run me ragged. Plus, I got to work out and I got to train, like all that stuff. So I have long days, but I keep it rolling, man. I keep it rolling. But as I keep it rolling, so and this like lighting here doesn't really. It's not very flattering for me either. So once I get my YouTube room, my office set up, it's gonna look a hell of a lot different. But a little bit tired, butters, but it's all good. All good, man. This right here gives me fuel, gives me energy. So, but I am gonna wrap it up shortly anyway, and not keep you guys on. It's a Wednesday night, so a lot of us got to work tomorrow morning. So, um, most of us, Gallows a Gold Glove, yeah, Gallows Gold Glove outfield doing. He's got a cannon for an arm. Richard Manuel Stanton not playing 162 in left field. Yeah, Stanton's got to play some more in the obviously have some regular outfield playing time to keep him not only kind of focused and engaged in the game, but it keeps him healthy. Clearly, that he made some adjustments with the health and training center this year, and it seems to have worked wonders for him. So, um, so yeah, I think that would be wise. Yeah, and I do feel the same thing, G man. The Cashman's got to win. He feels like he has to win on all the trades. Like some trades, it just develop like just developmental trades, addition by subtraction, like that. What is it going to make your team better? So what if it's a short term loss for a long term game? So what? Like those are trades that help the team too, right? So um, yeah, and I don't like that, man. And I felt that way for a while too. Doesn't need to win every trade. What's the point of that? So Loriano just got popped for Peds. And, oh, that's true too, Mark. That's a good point. He did get popped. That's right. That is right. Brian Taylor, yeah. Jesus Montero, Sam Miltel, Troy Taylor, Hensley, Bam Bam, Kevin Moss for Monster Can't Miss. Yeah, exactly. There's no guarantee that David and Dominguez can't miss yet. There's none. No, the only person I put an asterisk there is Brian Taylor because he got hurt defending his brother or protecting his brother in a bar fight. It wasn't baseball related, and he tore his pitching arm up towards rotator, and that's why it kind of altered his whole trajectory because he was like the best pitching prospect in 50 years that people have seen. So yeah, I wish it would have panned out, but it didn't, unfortunately. So, but you're right. There's no can't miss guys really here. So, and these guys have to force the team to play them. Like they have to keep like Volpe's doing right now. He's vaulting through the system, and he's pretty much one of the only guys doing that. At some point, he's going to force the Yankees to play him. And they're like, this guy's too good. We can't sit this guy. We can't keep him down there. We need him up here. Like my biggest wish for Christmas. Also, oh man, Butters. I hope Santa. Well, ultimately, I'd hope Santa drops both. That would be nice. But if I had to choose between the two, right now it'll probably be Olson because he represents a bigger need. Um, you know, and you can get Seiya Suzuki for center field or somebody like that. And I think that would be, Olson and Seiya Suzuki to me would be a nice. And again, I think you can tack on another player to Olson, a pitcher or somebody like that. Most likely pitcher. Um, so my Christmas list would be Olson before Reynolds between the two. But again, Santa was really generous. Both of them would be really nice. So hope you're listening to us, Santa. What about you, Butters? What's your Christmas wish? Stanton needs to play outfield. He needs to play. Yeah, he needs to play regularly. Kev, yes, keep the body warm and moving. Exactly. That's how you stay loose. That's how you stay engaged physically in these games. If you're just sitting and waiting, especially in the cold weather, it makes you more prone to right getting injured or being stiff and whatnot, being non-productive. So being active in games, I think, is a good helpful thing to Stanton, especially Stanton. Um, let's think about Judge. Stan isn't best, but not best pitcher right field. Is insurance of Judge. Yeah, Stanton's Judge. Yeah, And Stanton is money in the postseason. That's almost 300 in the postseason. So 290. I think bringing Lawson. That thing just shot down here. Bringing Lawson is about the Yankees plan to bring up these guys. Yeah, I think so too, Richard. It could be a tell. Exactly. It's a great point. The Yankees plan on giving these guys opportunities, and having a guy like Lawson who's worked with them could help ease their transition and really, really help make the offense better. So, um, and it is too early to tell Butters whether he's overrated. And again, um, if I'm moving Dominguez, it's for a guy like Brian Reynolds, because to me, Brian Reynolds is the finished product of what we want Dominguez to be. At least we get a guaranteed finished product with Reynolds. We don't with Dominguez. So that's the way I look at it. And 4 years of Reynolds, I mean, it may take Dominguez 4 years just to get to that level. And we've just gotten 4 complete years of production from Reynolds. So it's the way I look at it. And especially with a win now, if the Yankees want to win now, you have to kind of go with Brian Reynolds over Jason Dominguez. So, and then you add Volpe to that team with Reynolds and some of these other guys, and that would be a deadly team. A deadly team. And be a full-time outfielder again and be better for us. Judge is not like Monk, like Gallo. Yeah. Pisses you off. Bob Klappich said the Yankees were thinking of hiring Buck Showalter in the summer. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know about that. I really don't. I don't buy too much into the Yankees were thinking of. The Yankees either make an offer or they don't, right? And the only I know that they brought back Boone like instantly. So I don't know if they were really considering Buck Showalter. I think they would have reached out to him and not re-signed Boone so quickly. But again, I could be wrong there. I could be wrong, but I totally get what you're saying there, matching. I mean, it's um, you know, why he's going to likely go to the Mets. Apparently, Max Scherzer has made his preference known that he wants Buck Showalter to be the manager of the Mets. So don't be surprised if he's in Queens. But I wouldn't have minded him here. At the very least, I would have loved him in the bench or in the dugout with Boone. King the bullpen, yes, I would too. I would keep him as long relief guy, no doubt about it. Catcher, yep. We have after this year, Tyler. I mean, we have no options beyond Sanchez, none. Which is why trade for a catcher is a smart idea. Do I think Cashman's waited too long to? Yes, I think he should have extended him probably 4 years ago. But the Yankees generally don't do that. So, but they would be wise to do it, like Tampa was doing with, you know, Franco and some of these other teams are locking up these other guys. And Vlad Jr. is going to get locked up. Soto's going to get locked up. So they'd be wise to. Richard Suzuki, Judge, Olson, Stanton, DJ would be sick 1-5. Yeah. Yep. Realmuto and Didi for Sanchez and Hicks. Oh, I don't think any Yankee fan would say no to that. I don't think so. A decent Wilson Contreras offer is probably 2 top 20 prospects, Donald. One pitching, one positional. I think 2 top 20 prospects would do it. And yeah, thank you, Jason. I appreciate you encouraging the folks to hit the like and subscribe. It's really helpful, guys. So thank you. And we're at 100 likes, and we don't have as many people on as we normally do, but that's fine too. It's a Wednesday night. Saturday night we usually have it popping, so a lot more people. Luden, stay on couch all day long doing homework, and when my dog ran after a dog, I busted my ass trying to go. You know what that reminds me of, Luden? Like, yes, like I'd be running, running and fitness wise, but like then the ice cream truck comes, right? And then you go running down the block, and you're almost dead running half a block at the top speed to go get the ice cream truck. You're like, and I was like a big time endurance athlete, and that used to tear me up running 200 feet to get the ice cream truck. I never understood that. But then I was so happy when I got my ice cream. Just all down my face. I don't know about you guys, but I was pretty happy when I got my chocolate sundae. Poirier. I think Oliveira's probably going to win it over Poirier. Hal wanted Showalter. Cashman convinced her to extend. Boom. If that's true, Jay, then I'm a little disappointed. Yeah. If I'm Pirates, I don't know if will make that trade for Dominguez. Well, it's going to cost more than Dominguez, Davey, to get Brian Reynolds anyway. That would have to start with Dominguez. A lot of teams like Peraza more than Volpe, believe it or not. Well, he's more major league ready, so I can understand like a team would want somebody now. Like I could get that. I think Volpe has a higher trajectory though, but at the end of the day, I wouldn't mind at all having both of them here in the Bronx. I really wouldn't. So, really wouldn't. Yeah, Peraza's glove. Yeah, he's world class defensively already. Guardy's in the mix for Mets manager. Grandy, yes, he is. Grandy, Buck, and some other guys that Brad Osmus, and they've interviewed Joe Espada. They've interviewed a couple other guys too. So Saturday nights is definitely rocking. So, yeah, I think Oliveira's going to take it. So, would I rather trade top prospects for Olsen or Reynolds? It depends, Matchy. I think if I can just get one, it'd probably be Reynolds. Because you could sign a first baseman. There's a couple of first basemen available, but I'm like 50-50. I can do Olsen and then sign Suzuki for center fielder. I can do Reynolds and sign like Kyle Schwarber for first base, something like that, and I would be happy either way. But I think Reynolds is going to cost more than Olsen. But I think the Oakland A's trade gives you the opportunity to get more players, which I would kind of lean that way. Yeah, Saturday night. Yep, yeah. It's going to be banging, man. I'm just waiting for that Logan Paul Mike Tyson fight. So I can laugh. Yeah, Hirsch, you know what I'm talking about with Eddie Murphy ice cream. You don't have no ice cream. You didn't get that. Is he making fun of the kid? Mr. Softy. Yeah, you're running down the block like ape shit. You're having almost a heart attack trying to catch the ice cream truck. Yeah. Yeah. I could see Oliveira winning it. I could see Oliveira winning. But again, I really wish I really wanted to see John Jones fight Ngannou, but I don't know if that's gonna happen now. John Jones keeps getting into trouble, man. Suzuki is a center fielder more than Judges. Yeah, I think Suzuki's skill set is something that the Yankees are lacking, though. So I would take him in center field and just have Judge play the corner position. I don't think Judge projects long term in center field. It's just he's too big. The Brewers, don't be surprised if they sign like Castellanos. Be on the lookout for that. Just I have a feeling they're going to want to sign a big bat. So Joseph, yeah, I don't know, man. I appreciate you guys staying with me for so long, man. Yeah, hola. I mean, Logan is going to get. He's going to get hurt, and if this was 22-year-old prime Tyson, he would become being carried out in a gurney. Logan Paul. I mean, it's nuts. You're not crazy, Richard. He looks like a leadoff hitter. Suzuki would be a prototypical center fielder, leadoff hitter. I would have him right here. Yep. Matthew Boyd. I would take a chance on Matthew Boyd after bringing in a starting pitcher, and they have to bring somebody else behind Boyd before Boyd. So, but yeah, I mean, why not? They could do it. Castellanos is going to cost a bolo. Plus, he comes with a qualifying offer, and then I'm putting Judge in center field. I just think it would be a mismatch a little bit, Manuel. But I mean, it's a good outside the box thought. I mean, I could be wrong too. Personally, I would sign Suzuki because he could be a leadoff hitter, and then have Judge in a corner outfield spot. But that's just me. Judge's length is an advantage in center. Yeah, so is Suzuki's speed, and Suzuki has a better arm too. So I just think Judge is better suited in the corner. But then again, that's just me. Gallo fits better. And Gallo's another one, he's a super athlete who's really fast. And he's got a cannon for an arm, too. The only one who doesn't have a cannon for an arm is Stanton. No. Swisher for first base coach. He would be fun to come back here. Tyson's too old. Have you seen his training videos, Mark? Tyson right now could beat the shit out of Logan Paul. So I would not want to get hit by Mike Tyson right now. No way. And there's no way in the world I would want to get hit by 21-year-old Mike Tyson. But even today, he is a scary looking dude. And he's got one thing you don't lose in striking is power. He's always have that power. And Logan Paul does not know what it's like to get hit by somebody like Mike Tyson. So, Ola, thank you, man, for the Suzuki. For the love, man. I appreciate you. I would leave Judge and Wright, too. Tyson pre-prison would have beat anyone. Matt G, my boldest prediction ever, and it's controversial, too, but Mike Tyson in his prime would beat Muhammad Ali in his prime. I think Tyson would have effed him Ali up. In prime Tyson, head straight, I think he would have demolished Ali. And yes, he still has vicious power. You don't lose power, man. So, yeah, he had Spinks. He was in Spinks' head before he even got in the ring. So, Fluden, yes, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Prime Tyson was not fighting Holyfield. That was post-prime on drugs Tyson. That was not prime Mike Tyson fighting Holyfield. So, Tyson's the most dominant heavyweight boxer I've ever seen. It's not even close. Mayweather's the best, most talented, skilled fighter, yes. Tyson's the most dominant heavyweight I've ever seen. In his prime, I don't think anybody could have ever beat him. Manny Machado will be a Yankee next year. It's possible. It's possible. Thinking of Jordan's. But let me let you guys go. I want to thank you all for coming on me. Yeah, Logan Paul is just, yeah, exactly. He's an actor. He's just trying to make money. And he's going to keep doing it as long as he can. Mayweather entertained it. But Tyson already warned him, too. He's like, dude, if I hit you, man, you're going to be messed up, man. Prime Tyson did not lose any fights. So he was on drugs when he lost his first fight to Buster Douglas. And then, so that's it. Prime Tyson did not lose any fights. But we could talk Tyson on Saturday a little bit more, too. So we'll get into it. But have a great week, everybody. Thank you. And I appreciate you all. Over and out.